Welcome one, welcome all to the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun at Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how fantastic meetups are in Toyotas, then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and germs. My name is Tyler. And joining me for episode 291 is the one and only Mr. Jimmy Jet, Mr. Snail Trail himself. Do you have a snail trail?
No.
Is that a no comment? Or is it you plead the fifth?
I can't do a snails. I can't do it.
Okay. That's good to know.
So no, I don't.
I've wondered for a while, but I was just making sure.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, man.
What does that make the assistant?
No comment. I plead the fifth. Oh man, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
Nice.
I'm good. I'm a little tired, getting back into the groove of things since, the assistant's a teacher and the mini assistants, in school, they have been lazy in the mornings and it's made me lazy in the mornings.
Oh.
But now we're back to the grind, back to the normal schedule of school. And I had to wake up early.
It sucks.
I know. It's horrible. Speaking of that, I guess I hope everybody had a wonderful Easter. Happy holidays to you if you celebrate it. I went to like 3 parties.
What?
Yeah, and I didn't even have the kid.
Nice.
The kid was at her dad's house. So we still went to like 3 different parties.
Oh, that's funny.
So, yeah, it was a lot of food.
Yeah, I like missed that whole thing of that Easter is like a party thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What, you just stick on the religious side?
No, we don't do anything. I go work on the rig.
That would have been nice too. I wouldn't have minded doing that one bit.
Yeah. Nice. So yeah, Easter was last weekend. We had a lot of fun stuff going on this weekend, so we'll get into that in a little bit, but hopefully everybody had a good Easter nonetheless. Hopefully you got to spend some time with family or those that you care about, got some downtime in your schedule. Yeah, it was weird. I worked on the rig Sunday morning and then I just sat around the rest of the day and I was like,
oh, really?
This is weird.
I heard you were going to go play with antennas.
Oh, that ended up not happening because Frank came over and helped and they got it done. So.
Oh, okay.
I was unneeded.
The secretary was complaining at our meetup.
Oh, was she?
She was going to be lonely on Easter.
I told her to come with us.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then we would go up and have dinner with her family.
Oh, okay.
Afterwards.
I was like, you can come up on the antenna and we'll have dinner.
Yeah, we'll go climb the tower and have a charcuterie board up there.
There you go.
Oh, man. No, yeah, that ended up getting canceled. I guess they got it done the day before, and so I ended up having the afternoon free, and I was like, this is weird. I don't know how to handle this.
It's nice at times.
Sometimes.
But at times it's like a little overwhelming to have free time.
Yeah, I was really awkward. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I slept.
Oh, there you go. I'm sure you needed that. Yeah. Sometimes it's like I have free time and I have like 30 things I need to do. And now I'm like like
I don't know what to do now.
About what to do because I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Gotcha. I don't know. We'll get into this weekend here. It was a nicer kind of lower key weekend where I didn't have a bunch of stuff I was trying to get done, crammed in this little time schedule. Good. So, let's see. What do we got coming up here? We have Moab coming up.
We do.
That we're getting ready for here. So we're actually going to be leaving next Tuesday, or this Tuesday. This coming up Tuesday.
A week from Tuesday. Well, yeah. A week from 2 days ago.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll be heading out there. It'll be a fun drive, I think. We're going to be caravanning.
Yeah, how are you
with
going?
A few people in the F-150.
You towing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll tow Kermit. I've got a lot of stuff I got to bring, which will be interesting. Luckily, I'll have 2 vehicles. I'll get to stuff full of shit.
Fill them up with, yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be caravanning with Stellar Built.
Okay.
And maybe Descent Off-Road.
Oh, really?
And cruising to camp.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we may have this big party caravanning out to Moab on Tuesday.
Hope they don't mind going slow.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what Stellar's doing, if he's taking Moscow Mule or the Land Cruiser.
He's towing.
He is towing.
He's going to tow.
So is he going to tow the corporate cruiser or Moscow Mule?
I don't
or
know which one
the Ukrainian Mule now, whatever he named it.
I don't know.
He renamed it.
Did
now,
he?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And it's blue, so it works. I think he's taking a long trailer and 2 vehicles.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. So anyways, should be fun. Party caravan out to Moab. If you guys see us heading out along Highway 80, honk and wave and flash your lights and I don't know, say hi on the freeway.
Yeah, wave. Or flash something.
Yeah, flash something for Jimmy. He needs more entertainment on the road.
I'll be all alone.
Yeah. Let's see. For this month, we're going to be finishing out welding month here very shortly. Tyler's month. Hopefully everybody was enjoying their gift boxes.
Yes.
We had one come back.
Oh, did we?
Yep. Jacob Gleghorn was a return to sender. So we'll have to look into that one. We're going to have to go by the post office and pick it up because it's under your name. So I can't go get it.
Oh, bummer. Okay.
But yeah, Jacob, we have your gift box. Well, I don't know why it was returned to sender. Hopefully we'll figure that out and get it back out to you soon here. So
yeah. And we have to, Nick DeLuca's never showed up.
Uh-oh.
So we need to look into that.
Uh-oh. Okay. Cool. So there's 2 we got to look into.
And hopefully by now, Reed, you got yours.
He should have. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. So along the lines of gift box stuff and giveaway stuff, we are doing a Bun Trail Welder for the giveaway this month. Their new website is all up and running.
Sweet.
So go check it out. It turned out really nice and clean, very user-friendly. The UX is spot on.
I bet.
Oh man. So
whoever their web designer is.
Yeah. Good web designer. I gotta admit. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, that website's up and running. So go check it out if you guys were interested in purchasing one. buntrailwelder.com. And we have one to give away this month as well.
That we do. And the best way to get entered into that is to go over to iRate 4x4 and sign up as a Snail Squad $10 tier member.
There you go. So that $10 tier will get you an automatic entry. And then we also have decided that we're just going to keep Patreon open.
To some extent.
To some extent, yeah.
So we're going to keep the $10 tier open on Patreon, and we're going to keep the $5 tier open on Patreon, but we're going to close down the $20 tier. So all those, if anybody's in the gift box tier, you need to go over and sign up on iRate 4x4. It just makes things easier to have it all in one place.
Yeah, especially the gift box one. So go do that before the end of the month. You have until May 1st, or else you're going to lose your gift boxes.
Yes.
So there's your warning. We've been talking about it already. So there's the final decision. Make sure you go do that by May 1st.
Maybe I'll close it down even before we leave to cruise Moab, so that if people are concerned about what's going on, they have a week to figure it out.
There you go. That way they get the notice that they got kicked off or something.
Yep.
Okay. I like that. Cool. So yeah, be aware that's coming up here. Let's see. What else do we got? That's back housekeeping.
Do we have any voicemails?
We do. That was what it was. We have a voicemail. It's a really short one. I'm not sure who it's from. And I was contemplating whether or not to play it, but I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
So here we go.
Tyler, get your dad a better compressor. His is way too slow.
You know who that was?
Nope. That's all the info we have.
Oh, okay. Get your dad a better compressor, Tyler. Do you have any compressors?
Not right now.
You're all sold out?
No, not quite. I think we have like 10 left.
Okay.
But we just got 500 notification that 500 compressors have left the factory and they're on the way. So,
nice.
Yeah. So those will be coming in. Yeah, I think that might have been one of our Ford Ranger buddies, Matt.
Okay.
In which case, my argument is, if you have smaller tires and running the 10.6 compressor, it's going to go a lot quicker than a twin ARB on bigger tires.
Sure.
So
that makes sense too.
Yeah. You should get some bigger tires, Matt.
You should. That'll help also.
Absolutely.
Slow things down. Well, do we want to do reviews?
Yeah, we can do some reviews.
All right. How many are we up to?
379.
Ooh, okay.
So we got one more since the last time we read. Inching our way ever closer to 400.
Nice.
Where we get to do a swag giveaway. In which Six String Truckers still has not reached out.
Nope.
And
so whoever wins the next one will get his.
There you go. So this next review comes in from Rockin' Crawl K5. I think I know of that person.
Okay. I have no idea. Thanks, Rock and Crawl.
Yep. It says, best podcast, sending another 5-star review because I highly appreciate all the info about our local trails with these funny, entertaining, and enjoyable fellers. LOL. Rockin' Crawl K5, a.k.a. Jose Castro.
Oh, thanks, Jose.
Thumbs up bunny ears.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he gave a thumbs up and bunny ear emoji. Yeah, bunny ears.
Peace.
It's bunny ears.
Okay.
Next one is from Mini IGL.
Hey, Mini IGL.
It says, yo, 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 review from my mom's phone, 5-star from Alex.
Awesome.
Doesn't
Another
Alex
entry.
doesn't he have like 6 entries now or something like that?
I have no idea. I'm not keeping track.
I'm not either. Next one is from...
I hope he's keeping track of
all
his
the names.
mom's handle.
Right. Next one is from Rod Yoda. So Rod Yoda says, good podcast, guys. Good podcast can be very entertaining. Really enjoyed episode 220. I travel around for work. Tyler and Jimmy keep me entertained. Keep up the good work, guys.
Oh, thanks.
Do you know what episode's 220?
Rubicon history.
Rubicon history. Another one for Rubicon history. So let's see. We got the last one for today. It says from Frank Gillespie. Great and informative podcast. The Snail Trail 4x4 is one of my favorite podcasts and certainly the best in the off-roading category. Tyler and Jimmy offer up an informative podcast that covers an extremely wide range of topics in most entertaining manner. Sometimes they cover single topics and other times they have on guests that are experts in their fields. While not every topic is of interest to me, I always listen because I always come away learning something new. Highly recommended for learning more about four-wheeling as well as current events, issues affecting those who want to get outdoors.
Holy cow. You got more?
No, that's it.
Can I get more?
No. That's it for that one. Thank you, Frank.
That's awesome, Frank. Thanks.
I almost passed out reading your review there. So yeah, those are the reviews for today. Thanks, guys. It's really cool hearing from you guys. Okay, I'm going to read another one here. It says another 5-star. Another review from my sister's phone, Alex.
Alex really wants that winch.
So that's from Go Lakers.
Go Lakers.
So Alex, hopefully you got that one written down too. So keep up all the reviews, everybody. It's a lot of fun to read these. Fun to see the feedback from everybody. Fun to hear what you guys think of the show. If we're doing a good job, if we're doing a bad job, I don't really care. If you think we're doing a bad job, though, leave us a voicemail by calling 408-800-5169. That's the voicemail complaint line over there. So because of listening to all the feedback we get from you guys and all the support that we get from you, we do fun stuff here all the time on the podcast. We do giveaways. We do gift boxes every 6 months. We found a new way to set up the treasure hunt token. So we'll be hiding a bunch of tokens in Moab next week while we're there. And then we'll be putting those out on iRate 4x4. So remember, if you are a supporter of the podcast on iRate, then you get access to the tokens 6 months before everybody else does.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm. What happens if somebody finds a bunch of those tokens, Jimmy?
Well, if you spell out Snail Trail 4x4 on the tokens with the correct amount of tokens, 13 tokens, you are going to win a Master Mechanic set from Gear Wrench Tools. It's like 600 or 800 piece tool set or something crazy like that. Crazy. So yeah, if you're looking to get some tools, then you should be doing some hunting for some of these tokens.
Yeah.
There's a bunch out in the wild now. And there's some that are released to the general public as well. So I know of a few that are probably under snow at the current point in time. And I know a few that are in Moab. One of them might have been washed away. I have
Oh,
no
really?
idea. The one on King Creek.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how high the river gets.
Yeah, true. Right.
So, maybe it got washed away. It might still be there. Who knows?
I may have to go hunting for it through the weeds and see if it got caught somewhere.
Yeah, who knows? But nobody's found that one. And the other one we hid, nobody has found.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
And we're gonna hide more.
Yep. We need to see if I can make some more of those before the trip. That we have more to hide.
I have like 4 or 5. How many do you have?
I don't know. However many's in that bag over there.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Okay, cool. We should be good then. So yeah, check out the Snail Trail treasure hunt. The whole goal of that is to kind of create a little fun game for everybody and have some prizes along with the game.
Yeah, and encourage people to go out and explore new areas, some places that we've been.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So cool, man. I think that about does it for all of the housekeeping stuff.
Okay. Do you want a present?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Do you want one from me or one from a listener?
The listener. I'm afraid. I'm a little scared if it's from a listener.
It's not that bad. It kind of could. It depends on how you want to take it.
It doesn't say who it's from. Oh, okay, nice. It's a wall mount bottle opener.
Yep. There's a note in there.
In
the
bag?
package.
Oh.
A generic Amazon note.
Oh.
I think one's a gift receipt and there's a note on one of them.
It says, Happy Tyler's Month. Every overloader needs a bottle opener. This one will work great on the outside of the trailer. Enjoy, from Mike Klein. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, definitely. I'll put it on the outside of the trailer. Somewhere on the trailer for sure.
Yeah. I thought that was nice.
Yeah. I actually used to have one of these on the first gen 4Runner.
Oh, yeah?
On the back of the tailgate, yeah.
Yeah.
It came in handy.
So this one's from me.
Okay.
It's also, I don't know if you have this or not. So we'll find out once you open it.
Let's see. Yeah, I got the same thing from my father-in-law with my birthday present from the in-laws.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
It's super cool.
So you got 2 of them?
I don't know. I got 2.
You got the same. What do you? Did he?
He wasn't sure if I had one already or not.
Oh, got it.
So this is. It's a master automotive lock for like a trailer hitch.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Okay, so I don't even know how to describe this. Like, it has essentially like a fake trailer ball, right?
Pretty much. It has
that goes up into the socket.
Right. And then a thing that comes kind of over the front and top to prevent it from being peeled away.
Yeah. So you can't peel it away, and it locks in that configuration so that somebody can't take your trailer and put it onto a ball and then run off with your trailer.
Exactly.
So if they want to run off with the trailer, they have to like carry it off with their hands.
Pretty much. Yeah. You can't use the ball.
It'll be like old Roman times. They just pick up the trailer and run.
Yeah. So do you have one of those for your trailer yet?
No, I don't.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, that's great, because my biggest concern with the trailer is because it is so lightweight. If I take it camping and leave it at a base camp area and then go off-roading for the day,
right,
is my trailer going to be there when I come back?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Good. I got one for my trailer as well.
Nice.
I was kind of thinking about it, and then I was like, oh, this would be a good gift for Tyler too.
Yeah. These are actually, we should like look into, I don't know if we can find a way to get some of these for like listeners for like a gift box or something, because this would be a really good idea for anybody who tows
absolutely
their vehicle out somewhere, or their trailers out somewhere. So yeah, that's cool, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I didn't even know these existed.
And then
this
one's more of a gift to our listeners from me to you.
Now I'm really worried. Okay. Whoops.
Oh, you ripped the box.
I ripped the box. I can't get in here. What is... Please note, compression transportation. You have to wait for a period of time. Wait, a compression foam. 50-pack acoustic panels. Okay. Nice. Yeah, that'll go out really. That'll go to big use.
Yeah.
How many? 50-pack of them.
50-pack.
So
what are they? Foot by a foot? 12 by 12?
12 by 12, 14, 14 maybe?
Yeah, 14, 14.
Interesting. I'm afraid to open it up here because it'll act like that's really
it's a 50
compact
pack
for being
of
50.
foam things that's probably 6 inches total height. So that thing is it's gonna pop open.
It's gonna be like those snake cans.
We should video that in the shop.
Right? Yeah, no, that's really cool. That'll go out great in here. I've been meaning to there's a lot of stuff I've been meaning to put up in here, like hang the first gen grill up, hang up the shelf there, the Snail Trail sign. We have another banner from Empire Abrasives I wanted to put up, and just kind of some other stuff up on the walls to help the echo in the recording studio. It's not always super evident on the recordings, I think, just mainly because our microphones are really nice, but I notice it every once in a while when I'm listening.
Okay. So well, this will hopefully help. Yeah, it'll also kind of help set the mood. the recording mood. Yeah. There you go. When we have guests in here and they're like, what the hell is this place? Yeah. This doesn't look like a recording studio. Yeah. So speaking of presents, there's a present over there for us. From some friends of ours. So okay. When that's an interesting person it came from. Oh yeah. But I know the city. Yeah. So when we went down, do you want me to open it? It's Tyler's month. You should open it. You open it. I got to open 3. Okay. So when we went down to King of the Hammers, people have actually started hearing about us now. It's been fun as we introduce ourselves to different manufacturers and vendors that we really like and products that we really like. They're like, oh yeah, no, we've heard about you guys. We're like, oh, that's cool. We would absolutely love to work with you guys on the podcast and work on setting up some kind of mutually beneficial thing that we can help market you guys, because you guys have some really bitchin' products that we really enjoy and we depend on in our off-roading. And so this company we've talked about quite a bit before in the past, and they are doing some really, really cool things with magnets. So we got to sit down and talk with, was he the owner, the CEO? No. Well, the chief engineer, I think was. No, he was like head of marketing. Head of marketing. Okay. Derek. Yeah. Yeah. I believe he's like head of marketing. Okay. But we got to talk with Derek, and he was explaining some of the really cool things that they're starting to do with magnets over at Mob Armor. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm super stoked to finally get these in and be able to talk about what Mob Armor is doing. We've talked about Mob Armor a bunch in the past and how we really enjoy their phone mount systems. Yep. Well, just recently, have you actually? Let me pause for a second. Have you seen what they've been doing? Their advertising lately on social media. On I haven't Instagram? Gotten any of their ads yet. They've been doing fun things, like they've just put this guy, for the most part, this is their Magnetic Max, which is their phone mount system. So it goes on a magnet, like you put a little puck, a little steel plate, metal plate on, stick it on somewhere with like 3M tape, and then you stick this with the magnet onto the steel plate, and then and then the mechanism holds your phone. Yep. They've been doing things to try and unhook the magnet. Oh, really? Like they had a whole thing where they set it up in like a cardboard background, and then stuck it on a table, and then we're pelting it with the paintballs, trying to get the thing to fall over. And they've just been doing some really hilarious advertising on social media about how strong their magnets are. Yeah. So anyways, but lately, and one of the reasons they're showing how strong the magnet is because they just came out with this Flex magnetic wireless charger. Yes. And so this magnetic wireless charger now plugs onto the Mobile Max, and then you can plug it into like a USB charging port, and you can now wirelessly charge your phone, but still have it only magnetically connected. Yep, exactly. So this technology has kind of been around, but it's never been as powerful, as strong as Mob Armor has made it. Correct. Yeah. He was talking about how, I guess the new iPhones have this ability built in now. Right. But he's saying that the way that Mob Armor has figured out how to program magnets. Yeah. How cool is that? Right. And I'll talk about a little bit about that, because I don't want
I want to touch on it because it's really freaking cool technology, but I don't want to like say the wrong thing and mislead people. Yeah.
Sure.
But he's saying that this system here, their magnetic wireless charger, is something like 10 to 15 times stronger than what comes in a stock iPhone.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive. And so what they've found, like just in the past, like he said, 3 to 5 years is all that they've been able to start learning about this technology and how to do it. They can literally program magnetic fields within magnets. And so they can actually like take the molecular structure of a magnet and realign the molecules so that you get multiple magnetic fields out of one magnet. And by then taking those multiple magnetic fields and positioning them, setting them up, structuring them in a certain way, you get an exponential increase in the magnetism from that magnet. And you can do all this. It's just a brand new, they've just figured out in the past like 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, and I don't quote me on the amount of numbers, but he was saying that even the iPhones have done this and are doing it, but they had like one per like quadrant, like one north, one south, one east, and one west.
Yeah.
And Mob Armor like doubled or quadrupled the amount.
I think it was
magnets.
quadrupled or something like that. Yeah.
So we'll have to have Mob Armor on, and so they could talk more in depth about this cool new technology that's coming out that they're doing, and be more scientific about it and talk about it and how we're covering it.
Exactly.
But this is cool. I'm super stoked that we got these right before our trip.
I am too. We got them just in time to go out to Moab. So we'll be able to bounce around Moab with the new Mob Armor setups here. And, you know, we've both been using Mob Armors in our cars for years. I think since before we even started the podcast here.
Yep.
And so, yeah, it's really cool to see what they're doing. And our goal is to get them on the podcast, talk about it, and hopefully we can get one of these systems once we kind of get used to it and see how it all works for a giveaway for everybody, because that would be a bitchin' giveaway.
At least one.
At least one.
At least one.
Yeah. And then another company we started working with here recently was Ironman 4x4, which you've touched on a little bit. They got us a 270-degree awning, their new one, that they just released recently here. And it's really neat because it doesn't have any legs.
Yeah, that is really cool, huh? So there's nothing that impedes you walking around your rig. You can kind of, you throw the awning out and then you just have to walk around wherever you want.
Yep. It's just kind of like on a giant pivot. So it's super easy to take out, super easy to put back away. And the other really nice thing that I think kind of makes them stand out over other companies that are doing an awning, kind of a 270-degree awning like that, is that the lights included, I know that we had talked a little bit about it before, they go up and under and live under the awning.
Like they just hang underneath?
No. So the awning is the arms that, rotate out to create the 270-degree awning are C-channel arms.
Okay.
And so the lights fit into the C-channel.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's super clever.
Yeah. And so the lights live under the awning, so you've always got lighting underneath your awning.
Wow.
So once I get back from Moab, I'm going to put that up on the trailer, and then we'll get to kind of start using it and see just how really bitchin' it is. But so far, I've pulled it out of the box and kind of like looked at it and looked at the setup and the structure and the design of it and the engineering on it. And it all looks really damn good.
Nice.
So
cool.
I'm really excited to get that up so we can start figuring that one out too.
Yeah, I want to look at the hinges. I want to see how they're built, how beefy they are. Check that out for everybody.
Yep. So cool, man. I guess
since
that's
we're talking about
time.
people that helped us out, why don't we talk about Empire Abrasives just for a quick second, how we do have a discount code for people down in the show notes. So if you do need some consumables, as Tyler puts it.
Yes. I always need consumables. I actually do need to. I just ran low. I put my last flapper disc on, so I need more flapper discs.
There you go. Yeah. So if you need some consumables, check out Empire Abrasives, and there is a discount code down in the show notes for you guys. I believe Tyler also redid a whole bunch of the show notes recently.
I did. I kind of cleaned it up and got rid of some of the older discount codes that are no longer working or companies we're not working with anymore, and then added a bunch of the kind of the new companies that we're working with this year. So
Yeah.
That's all kind of updated and down there now.
Also, somebody that we talk about a lot, but don't directly work with him, is Sidetracked Offroad. I did see on social media that he has a bunch of tires and a bunch of wheels in. So
I think I was trying to count how many pallets were in that picture.
Yeah.
I want to say like 21.
Yeah.
20 pallets, something like that.
So if you guys are looking for some bead-locked wheels, non-bead-locked wheels, all different versions from Toyota to 8 lugs, and tires, he has, I think he was saying he has Trepadors in stock.
Wow.
So
okay.
if you are looking for tires,
hit up
contact
Morgan.
him.
Yep. Yeah. I know that we, I've been meaning to forward Horton's email. Do you remember Horton from King of the Hammers?
Yeah, Horton the Who.
Yep, Horton the Who. He has a really hilarious, I don't want to say hilarious, it's a pretty cool looking 4Runner, but it's a bright blue.
Yeah.
And so we call him Horton the Who. Really cool guy.
Should be Horton the Blue.
Short, yeah, right. Really cool guy. He ended up looking for a winch line in Fairlead, so I sent him over to Morgan to get some over there. But he wrote me an email saying, yeah, I figure I should probably redo mine. Mine's getting a little raggedy now. And it's mainly because, unlike those wheeling wine and whiskey guys, I actually go out wheeling.
That's awesome.
So I meant to take a picture of the email and send it over to Jason and Chris.
That would have been funny.
Yeah.
Another Toyota owner calling you guys out.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's what we do here. We like to call out wheeling wine and whiskey for their lack of wheeling. So,
and lack of wine.
I like a wine. They're doing, yeah, I agree.
I had some good wine this weekend.
Did you really?
I did.
What'd you have?
I had a really good Grenache and a really good Zin.
Grenache.
Yeah, both of them were wines that we brought to the event. And we're a big fan of a winery in, I think, is it Fairplay? In the Fairplay area?
Down near Jackson kind of area down there?
It's a
Sutter Creek?
Yeah, kind of out. I mean, we drive up to like Placerville and then go east.
And go down there. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Out that way. But I don't think it's as far out as Jackson is.
Okay.
Because Rodney's like way far away.
Yeah.
Anyways, the winery's called Skinner.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you've joined us at the event, at an event in the pre-pandemic days.
Yeah.
At a Skinner event. And yeah, so we had a really good Grenache and a really good Zin this weekend at some of the parties.
Nice. I'm not always a big fan of Grenaches. They don't have a lot of flavor, in my opinion.
Yeah, they are pretty. They are a light red for sure. Which I think it has its place. I mean,
it totally.
The Zin is the complete opposite for the most part, right?
And that's my favorite wine. So
okay, yeah.
That and Petite Syrahs, man. Give me all the flavor.
Yeah, but see, Petite Syrahs are on the lighter side.
No, Syrahs are. Petite Syrahs are like you're chewing those wines. They're heavy.
I'd have to look at the wine again.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm a fan of cabs. I like a good, healthy, hearty cab. Unfortunately, red wine is bad for me.
That's right. You make crystals from red wine.
Exactly. So I've been this weekend I was drinking sparingly.
Gotcha. I need to start contacting wineries and see if anybody has any wines from the fires in the past couple of years that they're holding on to and making, or grapes that they're holding on to and making wine out of.
Yeah, because
I know a lot of the wineries just insurance claimed all their grapes be due to smoke taint, and I'm like, no, that's the best kind that I love.
Yeah, definitely.
So, anyways, so you had some good wine this weekend. What else did you do this weekend, Jimmy?
Well, before the weekend, I spent some time under Bobcat's hood.
Oh, look at you go.
Under Bobcat's bonnet. And I put brakes on it.
I saw that.
Yeah.
How were the brakes that came off it?
They were toasted.
Toasty? Like a toasted marshmallow?
Yeah. They were pretty raggedy, especially on one side. The other side wasn't too bad.
Okay.
But yeah, so I bought new wheel bearings for both sides, new gaskets and seals for both sides from the knuckle out for the most part.
Okay.
I didn't open the spindle to go inside of there.
Gotcha.
And then I pulled all those and replaced all that, put new rotors on, put new calipers on, and put new brake lines in from the factory hardline down. Because
Okay.
on one side, I had like steel braided brake lines, and they were just getting old and like they were wearing out, and like the plastic sheath on the outside was like fraying off, and the other side was a trail fix.
Yeah, from the Speedway Motors kit.
Yeah, from the Speedway Motors kit, which is fine, which is, I believe, is probably working better than the other side. I don't know. But so I just bought new like 14-inch steel braided lines and put them on both sides.
Gotcha.
And set those up.
There's been there's always, it seems to be a big debate between running nylon lines like the Speedway Motors kit
Yeah.
versus braided stainless steel, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know if there's really a huge, I mean, the stainless steel is going to last you longer. It'll withstand some abuse better, but like it's so much more expensive.
Right.
Like 4x, 5x
Well, and
the
what
price.
the major difference is the nylon version from like Speedway Motorsports is inside of the steel braided line.
No, yeah, exactly.
Right. So it's the same thing. It just doesn't have the steel braided around the outside. And so people are concerned about it bulging and swelling and then eventually rupting, where the steel braided is supposedly holding it all together and doesn't allow that.
Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, I mean, but there's Ultra 4 rigs out there racing Ultra 4 with no steel braided lines around, and it's just the nylon, Speedway Motorsports style stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but on the legality side of things, I don't think that is a legal street application. I don't think they're the nylon style. I don't think Speedway Motorsports says this, like that is not legal. DOT approved.
Gotcha.
So there's that side of things.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I didn't even think about it being DOT approved or not. My whole thought on that whole argument is I don't think it really matters too much. Just make sure that you're running the same thing on all 4 brakes kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that you're not getting unequal pressures on your calipers, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That would be my thought.
It was good. It took a lot longer than I anticipated. I was like, I could get this done in a day. And I probably could have, but it would have been a long day. And I needed some hard lines. I wanted to replace some hard lines.
Gotcha.
And when I got to that point, the hardware stores or the auto stores were already closed. So I was like, well, okay, I'm done for today. Did some cleaning up and went home. But what really took a long time is I was changing the rotors out. So I had to take the knuckle kind of over to the press and press all the wheel lugs out, right? Yeah. And then take it all apart and then put the rotor in and press all of them back in.
Yeah.
And that process just takes time. The B. Reynolds fab the pressure
knob?
release knob is sure nice to have.
Oh, you have one of those?
Yeah.
I need one.
Dude, they're cool.
I need one.
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
I forgot what he's selling them for, like $5, but I'm like, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, I need to get one from him.
Yeah, I posted it on social media once, and I had like 5 people message me like, "Where'd you get that?" And I was like, I was like, "Look, B. Reynolds, I'm getting you sales."
Yeah.
He's like, "Whatever." He's not making. I mean, I'm sure he's making a little bit off of it, but
it's beer money kind of thing.
Beer money sort of thing. So, but yeah, having to 6 wheel lugs, and you just turn it, press it down, and then you turn the handle and it releases it. And you just do it over and over again. Just took a little bit of time. Plus, like the first one, which I did the bad one first, it was just hard to pull things apart, and it was sort of not like a learning curve, but to some extent there was a learning curve on the first one.
Yeah.
And then like, okay, I got it all dialed, and these are the tools that I need to take it all apart.
Yeah.
Then the second one went much faster.
Yep. I had a similar experience this weekend.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later.
So yeah, drove it down to the event. It works fine. I still think it's spongy.
Okay.
And I was talking to the assistant, and I was like, I don't know if I still think it's spongy, or if it's just me trying to relate it to like the brakes of the Tacoma.
Maybe.
And being like, those brakes just feel so much better than these brakes do. So I'm assuming that these brakes aren't how they're supposed to be. But I don't know. I still before it used to go to the floor every once in a while, and it hasn't done that yet. So it's better than it was.
Gotcha.
But it still feels like I want it to engage sooner, and it's not engaging when I want it to engage.
Okay.
I have to push it down farther. And I know that usually bleeding fixes that.
Yeah.
But I don't know how, like if I've bled everything, how do I bring the pedal up farther? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe I have to bleed the master cylinder more, but that doesn't sound right because you bench bleed it and then you don't do anything. So sure.
When you bleed your brakes, do you bleed the LSPV as well, or your LSPV delete?
I have not. Is there a bleeder on that? I don't know.
I don't know if there is. I know that you're supposed to bleed the load sensing proportioning valve, the LSPV in the rear. But I don't know if you need to bleed it if you've deleted it and just have the pass through now. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I did take it around the street after it just rained and I was slamming on the brakes and my rear end was locking up and sliding me a little sideways. So it's working better than it was.
Drifting in Bobcat?
Yeah, drifting in with a brake slide. Bobcat drifts pretty good with the spool in the rear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not satisfied, even though like the front end is practically new. So, I mean, unless I'm got to like fully replace hard lines now, even the rear end is relatively new. I mean, because I did this disc brakes not terribly long ago.
Year, maybe? Year and a half?
And everybody was like, you need to add this pressure valve in line. And I added one. And when I did reading on it, it was like, add it the closest you possibly can to the master brake master cylinder.
So you just put it right into the cylinder.
So I literally put it into the cylinder. And it was funny because then I was talking to Hustle Nuts and Hustle Nuts like, you have one of those already. I'm like, I do? He's like, yeah, it's out of your the SP, whatever you called it, the SPV thing, LSPV. And I went and looked, and sure as shit, I have one sticking out of the back of that also.
No shit.
Yeah. So now I have, and I just have left it. I don't know if it's good or bad, but so it holds like 2 extra pounds in the brake line or whatever of pressure.
Interesting.
From the master cylinder to my rear brake, sensor setup thing.
Yeah.
And then 2 more pounds
into the rear brakes.
So, yeah. And so I don't know if I'm holding too much in there and if it's actually clamping a little bit. So I don't know. I'll just need to figure it out. But that shouldn't stop me from feeling still spongy pedal.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And at some point in, not terribly distant past, I have replaced the vacuum. What's it called? What's the brake master cylinder connect into? The big thing.
Oh, the vacuum booster.
The vacuum booster. And I upgraded that to the dual vacuum booster.
A dual diaphragm.
And the dual diaphragm. And I've replaced the master cylinder for the 15/16 version one, which it was already. I just put a new one on. So I've upgraded everything.
Yeah.
And made it better than it should be, and it's still not feeling right.
Yeah, that's weird.
So, but it doesn't feel right to me. So. Maybe I'll have you drive it in Moab or some other time and you can just say, no, you're crazy. Have
you checked the mechanical linkage to the pedal? Maybe that's broken and sliding around for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's going to be, I will look at it in the next few days because one of the requirements for Cruise Moab is to have an e-brake.
Oh yeah.
And we snuck through last year without having it. And so I'm kind of trying to figure out a way to do an e-brake with running a cable out of my e-brake handle down to the pedal. Yeah. And I don't know if it's even possible to make it so that I push the brakes in, pull the e-brake out, and then have it hold the pedal in place. I don't know if that's even a possible thing for it to do.
I don't know.
But I'm going to try it.
And try it anyways.
And figure out, I'll probably set it all together, set it all up, pull the handle, see if it works, and then won't be able to disengage it. I don't know.
That'd be funny.
I'll have to cut the cable or something. Yeah. So I don't know. That'll be an interesting little thing to play with and test and see if I can figure that out. But also I saw on the list of requirements for Cruise Moab is a horn, and Bobcat doesn't have a horn. I have something that acts like a horn now. Yes, you do. That'll be fun to I thought about getting one of those like little awooga, little squeaky like bike thing. I'll put one of those little bike bells on my steering wheel or something when I go through. You didn't have a horn last year. I didn't have a horn last year. They didn't ask me to honk your horn. To honk it. I also don't have reverse lights. We never hooked up the sensor for reverse lights when we did the transmission swap.
Yeah.
Because I think the plug is different between the W56 and the R151.
Gotcha.
And so we just kind of left it dangling. So I'm considering going to swap or figure that out and plug it in.
Yeah, we can just put on new plugs. We can throw on like some Anderson power poles. Yeah. As the new plug or something. So I have a few different, I've got some T plugs laying around and some other stuff. So we can probably figure that out at the house on Wednesday morning. Yeah. Before going over to registration.
That might be good.
Yeah. I've got blinkers on the way, new blinkers. So they don't give me shit about my blinkers this year.
Yeah. your itty bitty blinker committee.
Yes, exactly.
That's funny.
Yeah. I ordered up some trailer blinkers. And I'm just going to wire those and then put them on my the front, one of the down support pipes off of the bumper.
Right. Yeah.
That helps triangulate the bumper. So
I'm considering taking my bumper off.
No, don't do that.
Why? It's not even. It's
better with it on.
Yeah, but it's not. It's like held in by 3 bolts.
Yeah. So
if I hit it, it'll bend it.
No.
Or break it or something. Yeah, I don't know.
If you end up needing to get pulled somehow,
we just can't pull it on that.
Well, I think it'd be better pulling on that than your radiator support, like we've been doing.
I don't know. That radiator support's that thing's welded in. This thing only has 3 bolts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. And mainly because the bolt holes don't line up. Like I can't put more bolts in it. Like it's just there for decoration right now.
It's a good decoration.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can hang a Christmas wreath off of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not functional decoration.
Yeah.
I did put the LED lights in Bobcat.
Oh, and the headlights?
The headlights.
Oh, that'll be a big improvement.
Dude, driving home from the meetup, that was awesome.
You can see where you're going now?
Yeah, there's a road underneath. And they didn't look too unleveled. I didn't ever level them or sight them up, and they looked like they're actually shooting down, which is good.
That's good, yeah.
Because those things are bright.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they were just some 5x7 headlights off of Amazon LED versions.
Okay.
They were different than the ones we put in the first gen. Okay. Because I wanted to try a different.
Oh, you got the round ones, right? Those ones, or
there's 4 round bulbs in there.
Gotcha. Okay, I remember those now.
Yeah, 3 of them are on for low beams, and then the high beam is a different one. And it comes on.
Cool. Awesome, man. So cool. Were you able to get everything done and be able to take Bobcat to the meetup?
I did. Yes, barely.
Yeah, I heard.
But I made it.
The assistant told me.
Yeah.
So how long before you left for the meetup were you still working on Bobcat?
Let's see. So the game plan was we were going to try to leave the assistant's house about 3:30. Mm-hmm. And I got home about 2:30 to shower and clean up.
Okay.
Get ready. So I had maybe an hour and a half, probably like 2 hours before the meetup.
Okay.
Because I did some cleaning of the shop a little bit.
Okay. So 2 hours before the meetup or 2 hours before leaving?
2 hours before leaving. And then it took an hour
Gotcha.
and plus a few minutes to drive down there. So 3 hours before the meetup.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, that's not too bad then.
No, it wasn't.
She made it sound like you were working and you got home like half an hour or 20 minutes before you had to leave for the meetup.
No. Well, I mean, no. Okay. She got home half an hour or 20 minutes before we needed to leave for the meetup. But she was out on a walk.
Okay.
And I was like, where are you? Like, your car is here. The cat is outside. The lights are on. Mm-hmm. You're not in the house.
Yeah.
Are you going to be ready to leave at 3:15?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I'll be ready. Like, where are you? Like, you're not here.
Nice.
And I didn't know what stage of readiness she was. Mm-hmm, right. Mm-hmm. And I was like, cause ladies, they take I'll be ready in half an hour. And an hour later, they're not ready yet. Yeah. And so I'm like, oh man, we're going to be late.
So cool. You drove down there, got there. How many people were there when you got there?
The back lot was almost full.
Yeah. So the meetup was going to start at 5.
Yes.
I got there at like 4:35.
Yeah, I was there just before 4:30.
Okay. So I got there and I parked in the front because I wasn't sure if they had the back open yet or what was going on. And I went inside, found Barry, and she goes, oh yeah, everybody's parking in the back. We've got it all reserved for you guys. I was like, okay. And then somebody said, yeah, back's full. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean the back is full?
Yep. People showed up early. Mm-hmm. Truck Norris showed up early, and he brought a bunch of friends.
Uh-huh.
And then a bunch of other people came. And yeah, I mean, I pulled up and there was parking like more so towards the entrance to go get beer down at the end. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of, like when you drove in on the right side of the building, and then to go to Highwater, you had to go down the left side of the building. Mm-hmm. And so all the parking lot was taken up almost the entire way until like a few spots on the far left.
Yeah. Yep, it was impressive. We had, I think for the whole meetup, the back lot was probably overly full.
Oh, yeah. And people were coming and going. So like people left and then people drove in and took those spots.
Yeah. There was people going all the way down the alleyway to get into the back lot.
Right.
Parked all along there. And I heard that there was another 20 to 30 rigs parked out front and on the street. Dang. Yeah. So, I don't know, estimates of how many people showed up, 200 to 250.
Yeah, I didn't think we were at 200. Mm-hmm. But then I was talking to the assistant and she was like, yeah, but like that whole group left and then a whole nother group showed up. Yes. I'm like, you know what? You're right. And so, yeah, I think we're 200 plus. Yeah. I think we were 200 plus, which is actually about what we estimated. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So,
yep. It was really fun. Big shout out to Highwater Brewing for hosting.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
And having some really good beer on tap.
I heard a lot of people saying that they were surprised about how many taps there were.
There's like 30 or something like that.
I think there's closer to 50.
Really?
I mean, there's much? 2 TVs. And how many do you think are on each TV? I was going to guess 25 per TV.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd never even looked at the TV. I just ordered stuff that I knew they had.
So there's somewhere between 30 to 50 beers on tap. They did have on the left TV was all Highwater, and then the right TV was Highwater and guest appearances. Oh, so nice. There was some other breweries had some beers there too.
Okay. They also have a really cool kitchen setup where they cook meals and food there. Mm-hmm. So I was very impressed with the pizzas.
Yeah, the pizzas were delish.
Pizzas were great. We just got plain Jane pepperoni pizzas, 10 of them to start off for everybody. But it looked like Samurai James had a really interesting artichoke flatbread chicken dip thing that he had. Oh, cool. I was like, that looked really good. Mm-hmm. The secretary said she got her own pizza. That was something. She said it was amazing. Yeah. Jason from Moon Wine and Whiskey said that he got a sandwich of some kind, and he said it was really good.
Oh, cool.
So from all around, it sounds like their kitchen does a really good job with the food they make there as well.
Yeah. Well, beer and food go hand in hand.
Yes, they do.
They make good beer, so I guess they make good food too.
Mm-hmm. We have a really nice outdoor space for seating, and then I guess if you're having an event, they reserve the whole back lot for you too.
Yeah, and they were. I was talking to the Barry's partner. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's how he introduced himself. Yeah. He was saying that a lot of the stuff is going to be gone in the near future. Oh. Like they had a bunch of wine barrels. Mm-hmm. And brewing supplies and things back on the backside. And he said, yeah, a lot of that's going away to another location here soon.
Oh, nice.
So there'd be even more room for somebody else or us in the future.
Yeah. No, they're really cool. They actually have a CJ7.
Yeah.
That they have built up on big old 33-inch tires.
Monsters.
So they were talking about how they've taken it back in the day, quote unquote, through the Rubicon on 31s, open.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, I guess they're looking to get rid of it. So if anybody's interested in a CJ7, hit up Highwater Brewing. But it was a really fun night. We had a great time, got to see a lot of people.
Yeah.
I got to put a lot of faces to the names, which was really fun for me. And there's a lot of people that have supported the podcast showed up. We had, Rubicon Trail Adventures was there, Dave McKinney. Mm-hmm. Sue and Chai from Bun Trail Welder came out.
Yep.
Morgan came out from Sidetracked Offroad.
Yeah.
Let's see, who was else? I mean, Truck Norris was there. Beer Andy was there. First Gen Mike was there. Moreflate Sean was out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a lot of neat people. OCD Fabrication came out with their Bronco.
Yeah.
Their Bronco 2. I really wanted to go over and take a look at that. I never got the chance to.
Yeah, I saw it in passing. You know, it looks good. Yeah. Latte Rodney was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his significant other, who I met for the first time ever.
Yeah, right.
I don't know why that took so long. Yeah, Wheeling Wine and Whiskey was there. We kind of mentioned them earlier. Yeah. Samurai James and Rhonda, Lady Samurai, you know. And yeah, there was tons of people. I mean, I'm sure we're forgetting, you know, some names, but you know, it's like these are people that we have mentioned in the past, you know. So, but yeah, it was good to see and meet people, you know, and you know, met a lot of new people, which was really nice. You know, it was fun to walk around and check out a wide variety of rigs. Yeah. From, you know, stock Jeeps to, you know, built up, you know, Bronco 2s. Yeah. Which I didn't get to actually walk around. But yeah, Mox Motors came out and they do a bunch of 3D printing things for like first gen Tacomas. Oh, and they had a little table out there and talking to people and showed off some of the things that they've been creating and doing some giveaway items or freebie items out there. Oh, nice. So it was nice of them to come out. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. They asked me, they're like, can we set up a little table? I'm like, yeah, go for it. Sure. We don't really have a vendor area. We're not doing anything like that. But if you want to set something up, go for it. So yeah, it was good to have them come out as well. Nice. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Lee was out there as well, cruising to camp. Yeah. So that day ended up being Chris's birthday. Yeah, it was. Happy birthday, Chris. So happy birthday to Chris. He's another year closer to retirement now. So I'm really interested to see what Chris does in his retirement. Do you think that guy will retire? No, he's a workaholic. I know. If he ever does retire, I don't know if we'll ever hear from him again. He's just going to go run off into the mountains somewhere. He's going to go with Lorenzo back to Cancun or whatever. Yeah. But he was out there, and so we got him a birthday present. Yeah, we did. Thank you. Yeah, we had I explained this story. They were recording and doing some interviews there at the event. So I got to sit down and talk with them a little bit. So I explained the story over there on their podcast they're going to have come out. But I was in Napa because I messed up my brakes on the F-150. Okay. No, it wasn't. It was the day before that. So I'll talk about that later. So I was in Napa getting wiper blades. That's what it was. Because we have these series of freak storms coming through in April here. Yeah, I put wiper blades on Bobcat too. Yeah. Yeah. And so I was in there and I'm like, I talked to the guy. I was like, hey, do you guys have anything that says Toyota on it in here? Because I have a buddy whose birthday it is and he doesn't like Toyotas. And so I really need to get him something that says Toyota on it. And he goes, what do you mean, like an oil filter? And I was like, I mean, it could be anything, like something with Toyota on it, preferably like a swag item, like a t-shirt or a hat or something like that. And he goes, yeah, I don't know. And so we started walking around the store and we got to the seat covers. Okay. And there was some seat covers that said like Dodge or Ford or Chevy on it, but no Toyotas. And I was like, dang. He goes, let me go back and look in the computer system. So he's looking through the computer system and he goes, nah, I don't see anything in here that has Toyota written on it. Like there's nothing listed in the item catalog as Toyota something. I'm like, man, what could I do? And I was like, do you have I'm sure you guys have a good stock of water pump gaskets, right? He goes, usually. I was like, can you pull up a 2RZ or a 3RZ water pump gasket? And he goes, I don't have any way to search for that. Do you have like a year and model of vehicle? And I was like, I don't know, look up a 1997 two-wheel drive 4Runner. And so he goes, okay, I'll look it up. And he goes, I'm just curious, why do you want a water pump gasket? And I was like, you'll see. Yeah. And so there's kind of this silence as he's looking it up. And I guess all of a sudden it pops up on the screen. He just starts busting up laughing. And he goes, oh, that is classic. Yes, we have like 7 or 8 of those. I was like, I will take one. And so he goes, all right, give me a minute. We'll have it pulled out of the back. And so I got that and then took it home and got a picture frame on the way to Target. Okay. And printed up a little sheet that said,
www Chris M, which is his new Instagram handle. He changed it. So www Chris M's favorite Toyota part. Happy birthday from Snail Trail 4x4.
Yes.
And so it's if nobody's seen that water pump gasket, it looks like
go look on Tyler's Instagram.
Go look on my Instagram. Yeah, you'll see it.
It's one of his most recent posts with Chris in it.
Yep. Or you can just Google 2RZ water pump gasket. It's a great great thing for people that love Toyotas.
Yep. Good prank. Definitely.
And so gave that to him, got some pictures of it and with him holding it. And then I was really hoping that he was going to have to like carry it around the whole event. And he went and took it back out and put it in the car.
Ah, bummer.
I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he's going to do with it. I told him he has to put it up inside his office. And so he shares that his office at home with his wife. So I'm kind of like, we'll see how that goes.
Maybe he puts it up in the garage.
Maybe he'll put it up in the garage. I told him he can always put it up at work and see if he gets an HR complaint. So anyways, happy birthday, Chris. Other than that, the other highlighted event for me, other than meeting everybody and getting Chris's birthday present, was the welding demo.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
It was pretty neat. I brought out my Bun Trail Welder to run off of the Premier Welder. And then I also had my Premier Welder. Yeah. And then Ryan, Bandit Concealment, brought out some scrap metal.
Oh, cool.
And so the thought was we were just going to, let people weld with each of those two welding systems and see if they like them or what the difference is, or just kind of play around with it. And so Nick ended up being there with his Carnage welder as well. Who's a listener of the podcast. And then Lenny LePage, Mr. Rock Ranger, came over with his like homemade spool gun welder.
Oh, okay.
Which is it's similar in function to the Bun Trail Welder or Ready Welder, but he made it himself out of parts that he had laying around.
Crazy.
Yeah, so we had 4 different welders there for people to kind of play around and try.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Uh-huh.
And I did see a lot of people like, oh, I wanted to actually try that, or I want to use that, or how to, is stick really that hard? And it was cool to let people just jump in and sample, how to practice how to use these tools that they might use out on the trail.
Yeah, absolutely. So I thought it was a lot of fun. I did learn that having Sue and Chai there, while we were having people try out the Bun Trail Welder off of the Premier, Chai comes over and he goes, "It doesn't sound like you're revved up enough. You need to rev up a little bit more. You need a little bit more heat." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So once we revved it up more, that started burning really nicely, which is probably the issue. Well, which is the issue. I think I mentioned it on one of the previous podcasts, is that when I tried out the Bun Trail Welder on the Premier out at Beer Wednesday, I was like, it just wasn't working great for me, but I think I just needed to get more heat on it. Right. And so it's encouraging to see that by adding more heat, it started working great for everybody. Yeah. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun, letting people try out the different welding stuff, and we pretty much shut down the place.
Oh yeah,
again.
I think we were there past the time they closed.
Oh really?
Yeah, I left at 10:30.
Oh wow, yeah.
Right. And speaking of people and stuff, I got a sheath from Bandit Concealment for the knife I bought at Weeby Knives. So he brought me my sheath for the knife, and it looks really cool because it's the Kydex that all the gift box people got.
So like carbon fiber
gray. Mm-hmm. But then he two-toned it and he put a carbon fiber black in it. So it goes from carbon fiber gray and then it stops and then it goes to carbon fiber black.
That's pretty cool.
It's this really cool layout, and it fits freaking phenomenal. And he didn't even use my knife; he used his knife
because he happens to have one of those.
Because he happened to have one. But well-made, or a company that's been around for a while that makes knives is very good at replicating their knives.
Yeah.
So no doubts that it would have fit. But yeah, he did a great job, and now have it stashed away in Bobcat for the next time that I need to use it. Nice. When I'm out camping or whatever. So. Nice. Yeah.
Sounds good, man. Anything else you wanted to talk about from the listener meetup?
No, it was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And thanks for everybody that bought me a drink.
I I didn't get bought drinks. I had to go buy my own drinks.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
And thanks for everybody that used my tab, which was mainly the secretary and the assistant, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was just a lot of fun to see people, get to know people, meet people for the first time. You know, it was cool to see, you know, the support for the podcasts, you know, all three of them that were out there.
Yeah. Everybody else was just there to meet Chuck Norris.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was really cool. And you know, I don't know when. We don't have any plans at the moment to do another one in the near future, but we'll definitely do one at some point again. So keep your eyes and ears open. Maybe in 6 months or so, we'll do something again. Yeah,
it was fun having Gear Wrench Corey out there as well. People got to kind of say hi to him finally.
Yeah, got to meet him.
Hearing him on the podcast a bunch of times. So,
yeah, I did. I was standing around with somebody, and I was talking to Corey, and somebody's like, "Oh, I know your voice."
That's fun.
He's like, "Oh yeah, hi, I'm Gear Wrench Corey."
Yeah. So, nice.
Yeah, we did. Gear Wrench Corey and I talked for a while about Tool Month.
Oh.
So
cool.
That
is coming up here. Huh?
It is coming up. So there's a little tease that
is that July?
So first time we did it was in June. The second time we did it was in July.
Gotcha.
And Corey said he's really busy in July this year, so I think we're going to try to do it in June.
Okay. Cool.
There's nothing. Maybe there's a National Tool Month. I don't know, but ours is going to be in June this year.
Perfect. Cool. Yeah, that'll be exciting. That means only 1 month, one and a half months, just under a month and a half until Tool Month.
So we got to get our ass in gear and
we got to make some plans here. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it was a good time. Thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you so much for the support of the podcast. I remember what I was trying to get into earlier. You know, because of the support that we get to play around with adding new things to the podcast, such as the new piece of software we keep alluding to. We used it for the past 2 interviews with Carnage and with Ian from Wheel Every Weekend, and we've already gotten a couple of feedbacks here saying that it sounded like Ian was here in the studio with us.
Yeah,
which he was not.
No, he was not.
So because of the support we get from you guys, we get to find ways to keep adding better features to the podcast.
Yeah.
So
like we bought the Christmas tree board here that does awesome syncing of everything that we need, which is vital, from phone calls coming in, Bluetooth from people's voicemails to USB connections, to sound bites and fun little things for everybody out there.
What have you been doing? Have you been creating havoc?
Like that?
Like that, and then mics. Like we got a plethora of mics not too long ago, which are really nice high-end mics.
Yeah, they are.
I talked to a buddy of mine who's in the audio recording industry, and I was like, oh, I got a podcast. And he's like, oh, cool. Like, what cheapy crap mics do you use? And I was, they're Shure SM58s. And he's like, oh, that's what I have in my recording studio.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, that's what we use.
Yep.
Yeah, and now this new software, which is really, really cool. And hopefully it's pleases everybody's ear holes out there for a good audio recording.
Yep, I think it's going to do great at what our intentions for it are, but it also does some other really neat things, which might expand the podcast even more here. So in the future. So it just depends on if we want to play around with some of the other features that it has other than what we got it for.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we also, I've been using that audiogram program, and I found a way. I've subscribed to it.
Okay.
And it now automatically makes an audiogram of our podcast and publishes them on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. It does it all
by itself.
All automated?
Yeah.
That's neat.
The only slightly negative thing is that all the backgrounds are all the same, which to me, I kind of liked the fact that I can sort of differ them, but for me, not having to spend hours creating creating the backgrounds and the audio stream and the sync and editing and throwing it up there, I washed my hands of concerning changing the photo in the background.
Yeah.
So they're all the same, but they're all up there. And we got 10 subscribers.
Woo! We're making it big now.
Yeah, Snail Trail 4x4 Offroad podcast on YouTube.
Nice.
10 subscribers.
Speaking of hours, I just saw this the other day. How many hours do you think we have? How many hours of content just for the podcast do you think we have out there?
400.
More, sir.
450.
A little less.
430.
Less.
412.
Higher.
420.
Ding, 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 ding.
Nice.
I think this episode is right around 420.
Cool.
Yeah. So 420 hours of you guys listening enjoyment, listening pleasure, and it's all no charge to you.
Yes.
So
we actually had somebody say, I would pay to come to this event.
yeah.
And that's one of the, like Tyler and I have talked, like we want to keep, if you want to support us and help us, like, yeah, you can go do that over on iRate 4x4. But our goal is to make content and have, sort of events and get-togethers more or less be free.
Yeah.
Free of charge. Everything's out there for you guys. Like, yeah, if you want to throw a bone at us, there's an avenue for you to do it, but we're not here to charge for content.
Yeah, exactly. So cool, man. That wraps up the listener meetup. I got to do a few things, some cleaning up on Kermit.
Okay.
So the transfer case install happened, last week, and we talked about that.
Yeah. Where you had to kick somebody out of your garage so you could work.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I drove the 4Runner around all week long and found out that it was still massively leaking oil.
Really?
Gear oil out of the transfer case.
Did you do the top plates?
No, well, kind of. So here's what I did. A listener wrote in saying that you can get those, gasket rolls of paper. You can kind of make your own gaskets, and they're great for shifter plates.
Oh, okay.
And so that's what I did. That was one of the fucking worst gasket ideas ever. Sorry to whoever that was.
You should have cut it on the laser.
I cut it. I don't think the way I cut it would have mattered.
Okay. It just didn't work.
It just didn't work. Yeah. It didn't hold oil in between the two surfaces at all. So I ended up taking that out and took my center console back apart and put RTV on it, with the transfer case up in the rig. So I just went through the floorboard. And that seems to be holding great. So ta-da.
Oh, when I was, sorry to interrupt, but when I was doing my brakes, I was like, okay, I'm going to, I got to take apart the knuckles and do all this stuff. I was like, okay, I'll drain the axle. And then I started taking it all apart and I was like, oh, I'm not going that far.
You're not going into the axle?
Dang it. And so I had already drained the axle. So I was like, shoot. So then actually then I drove it over to the assistant's house to get ready and it was still a dry axle because nothing spins. So it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I was there early and done and ready and waiting for the assistant. So I was like, well, I'll go outside and put oil in there. And I couldn't undo the
fill plug.
The fill plug was super tight. And so I just was pulling on it so hard and I had to position, like I literally crawled under the rig, positioned myself in the angle to pull, put my feet against the other tire and just yanked on this thing and it popped loose, but I flew into the leaf spring. And so I finished. Yeah. Well, my back, I got my back, hit my back and then I started filling it. And then the assistant comes walking up from her walk. She's like, what are you doing?
So that's what she was talking about, that you were still under the rig getting things ready at like 20 minutes before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was just filling the diff. I was filling the front diff.
That's different than, yeah. Okay.
And she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, just, doing a little maintenance before we take off, and she's like, you're got yourself dirty again. And I guess when I threw myself against the leaf string, my whole back was all dirty again.
Funny.
She's like, you need to change your shirt. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, fine.
That's funny.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
So yeah, I got the shifter plate done with the RTV and then the rear output seal was leaking. That was like the one gasket or seal that I didn't change in the whole thing. Okay. So it was leaking. So Morgan had one over at Sidetracked Off-Road. And, so I ran over there real quick and grabbed it from him and put that in there as well. And then from driving it down to the listener meetup and back, I just have a tiny, tiny little small leak under the tail housing at the bottom of the tail housing and the RTV there. So, which is weird because I let that dry for like 24 to 30 hours.
Interesting.
So anyways, that's all of it is. And from that drive, I had like maybe a dime sized puddle of gear oil on my cross member. my skid plate.
Nice.
So,
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah, because one of the requirements for Cruise Moab is no leaky vehicles.
Yeah, you just kind of wipe everything down right before going into the arena.
I think I'm gonna pressure wash it before we leave.
Nice.
The undercarriage.
Yeah.
And clean that thing off.
Well, you don't want to be too conspicuous then, because then they're like, man, you got an old truck here with a beautifully detailed undercarriage. Did you just now wipe this down just for this tech inspection?
Yep, no leaks.
Yep, no leaks.
I wanted to show you how clean it is and how it doesn't leak.
Right. So I got all that done, and then I also installed a wee-woo.
A what?
A wee-woo.
A what?
It's a wee-woo.
Okay.
It goes wee-woo, wee-woo, wee-woo on the Forerunner for
You
the
installed a
Listener Meetup.
siren?
I did, yeah. Which is going to be my horn for the tech inspection at Cruise Moab.
Oh. Oh, man.
So
I'm not going to be in that room when you turn it on.
yeah, I don't recommend anybody be in the room in the arena when they ask me to test the horn. So it is super loud.
Yeah.
It gets up to 140 decibels, 135 decibels, which is
Holy cow.
I think a jet engine is 130.
Dang.
So it's 130 to 135 decibels is what it gets up to. And so, I put it on, and it took me a really long time to figure out where to put the PA speaker because I didn't have any good spots in the engine bay to put the PA speaker.
Yeah.
And I didn't want it underneath the passenger compartment because I want all the sound going forward to whoever's pissing me off in front of me.
Okay.
And so I'm like, I didn't know where to put it. And I struggled for a long time. I finally put it in not the best location, right underneath the winch, essentially.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing old sluice again, I'm going to have to be very careful about hitting and throwing my front bumper into rocks, right?
Right.
However, you just informed me today that it may not be a legal place to put a PA.
Well, I don't think that passenger vehicles are allowed to have a PA in general.
Oh, interesting.
Because
Okay.
there's a law, more or less, that says you're not allowed to impersonate a cop.
Yeah, I get that.
Right. And, because back in the day when I had a CB, I had a PA, and that, I don't know who it was, but I'm pretty sure I was told that even that was illegal.
Interesting.
Because you can talk through it, and that's how what cops do.
Interesting.
And so it was pretty much like, yeah, you're not allowed to run those.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't think of it until the other day, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure like that would be a no-no.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd get in trouble with it, but if you get pulled over for like, oh, you don't have mud flaps and they're walking around your rig.
Or no front license plate.
Yeah, or no front license plate and
Yeah.
they're walking around your rig, that just would give them another thing that they could write you up for.
Okay.
And it would only be
And
a
that's fair.
fix-it ticket, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think they can write you up for more than that.
Okay. So that was kind of my question because my whole thought was no one looking at Kermit is going to think Kermit is a cop vehicle, a police vehicle.
Yeah.
And so it really comes down to if I'm using it on the streets, right? Which I
Yes.
don't plan on doing. It's supposed to be for me being an idiot as I'm pulling up to off-road events and to announce my arrival, like a medieval ball or something.
Sure.
Tyler has just arrived, everybody. Or out at off-roading trails where we have two old larger males in a two-door JK completely loaded down, overweight, and not getting out of anybody's way, and there's 20 rigs behind them now, and I'm the person right behind them. How do you get them to move over so that you can now just kind of help traffic flow better on the trail? It would be used in that situation.
Absolutely.
So, but now that you mentioned that might, just having it visible on the vehicle, I'm thinking about taking and building armor for it essentially, so that it's less visible. It's a little more hidden, and it's also now it'll be more protected from rocks.
Yeah, that might work.
So I'm thinking that might be a fun fab project I may get into here.
Build it into like a or a skid plate.
Kind of, yeah, essentially. So, so that's something I'm kind of gonna play around with. So,
yeah, we have some friends that can answer that question for sure. Mm-hmm. So
True.
That might just be worth.
I'm going wheeling with them on Thursday.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
yeah. You can roll up and play your siren right in front of him and see what he does.
Is this legal? Oh man,
He might write you a ticket right there.
right. So anyways, I did that. I also, something we haven't really talked about, I got in my third members. I got in my axle housings from Diamond,
Yes, you did.
my 10.5s.
Yes, you did.
So they are big.
They are big.
They are big. And so their claim of only adding like an inch, I think, to the ground clearance over, I guess, taking away an inch of ground clearance from a stock 8-inch housing, a stock Toyota 8-inch housing. I'm like, I don't know. So I really want to put like a stock housing over it, take some measurements and figure out like what the difference really, what the delta really is on the ground clearance. So, looking into that. But those housings are beefy. They're nice, big, thick housings.
Massive.
Yeah.
Like the axle tube is 3/8.
Yeah. 3/8 wall.
That's nuts.
Yeah. 3.5 inch, 3/8 wall. Which is kind of your standard in custom housings, but it's big. It's nice.
Yeah. Where like a Toyota is 1/8.
Yeah. 1/8 maybe stamped steel.
Yeah. It's
And this is 3/8 DOM tubing essentially. So 3/8 wall DOM, 3.5 inch. So, yeah, it should be great getting to set those up. I just need to get in kind of the rest of the parts so I can figure out what my WMS, what I need to cut the housings to.
right.
So typically, if you're smart and do this the right way, you kind of build your custom housings, set up all your WMS, set up your bracketry and everything, and then measure what your WMS is and order your axle shafts according to what you built.
Okay. Sure.
So me, because I'm doing something stupid and doing some custom built setup that nobody's really done and people haven't, there's no information out there about exactly where to cut, how to do it, where to put this, where to put that. I'm kind of all making it up as I go along. I found a guy out on the internet that had a rock bouncer buggy with this similar setup in the rear end. And so he had RCV axle shafts, custom RCV axle shafts for the rear that go from 36 spline Toyota on the inners to 35 spline Dana on the outers.
Right.
300M shafts. He sold them to me for $400 for the pair.
Wow. That's the price of one shaft.
That's less than the price of one shaft for custom. Yeah, for custom shafts. Yeah. So I think if I went and got custom RCV shafts from RCV 300M, had them custom set up, it would be around $1,000 to $1,200.
Dang.
Per shaft.
Oh, serious?
I think so.
Holy cow.
So I'm like, okay, $400 for both shafts. Now my whole build is going to be built around the limit of these rear shafts, right?
Well, they're your length. They're limiting your length, right?
Exactly. So now I have to build my axle housings.
Why was he selling them?
Because he didn't use them anymore. He went to some other platform.
Oh. Okay.
So, and he goes, they're just such a niche thing that nobody really does this. So he's like, I'm never going to get rid of these. And I just happened to be some random person asking stupid questions on the Rock Buggy page on Facebook.
Sure.
And he goes, hey, I have some axle shafts. If you want them, I'll give them to you for a really screaming deal rather than having to take an ARB and replace the side gears in the ARB for Dana 35 usage. So I was like, okay, cool. That sounds good. So that's what I did. And now that's what my build is revolving around.
Yep.
So now I have to get the third member done and then the axle shafts and then the unit bearings and with the weld on cups and the drive flanges. I had to put all that together without the axle housing. And measure the tube length that it's going to be and then cut the axle housing to that.
Yeah.
So
cut it fat.
Exactly. So I can, trim it down. So that's currently what I'm working on is collecting the rest of the parts so that I can then lay everything out and measure what the tube length needs to be. And in theory, I should have roughly about 3/4 of an inch of play in how big where my cut is on the axle tubes.
Right, because you don't need a certain depth on splines, and you can kind of adjust that.
Yeah,
play with that.
Yeah, RCV says you need at least minimum 75% engagement of your splines.
Okay.
So the spline section is about 1.5 to 2 inches. So that gives me about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. of play in the splines, and you've got splines on 4 spots. So that gives you about maximum of 2 inches of play. That's a lot. About an inch, 3/4 of an inch on each side. And then the weld-on cups can be welded on within about an 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch play on those. So,
Okay. So
I have a
little bit of flexibility.
A little bit of flexibility, but still, I'm like, man, if I cut these too short, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
So I'm really stressing out about.
Then you give them
making
to
sure you get
me
those set up.
because I'll just build a smaller vehicle.
Exactly, right? Either that or I'll just scrap the rear axle shafts and put everything together and do it the right way and order the axle shafts accordingly.
Yeah. It's only a $400 loss at that point.
Yeah. And which would be better than ordering new housing for $1,000.
Yep.
So
That's true.
So anyways,
I still like the idea of just giving them to me.
we'll see. You're going to come over and sabotage and just cut them.
Yeah. Just thinking of Rage Against the Machine right now.
Yeah. Right. So anyways, axle housings are in. I've got drive flanges and front hubs on the way as well right now. So once those are in, I think I'll be able to kind of put everything together and figure out where I need to cut the tubes at.
That's exciting news. Cool.
Yep. And then other than that, the rest of what I did was just the rear brakes on the F-150 to get it ready for towing to Moab. And it took me 2 hours to do one side.
And then how long to do the other side?
15 minutes.
Yeah. Are they drum or disc?
They're disc.
What took you so long?
I had the wrong rotors. So I had to go back to Napa on a Sunday morning to get the correct rotors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a laundry list of things that I want to get done on Clifford and Bobcat before we go to cruise Moab. So I called actual trailer company in Loomis, and they are like, yeah, it's like $150 for us to inspect it, and then you pay for parts if anything needs to get done. And when we inspect it, we're already opening it up. So if
we'll just keep it open.
If we need to replace things, it's already open. If we don't need to replace things, we're packing your bearings and putting it back together.
Yeah.
I was like, cool. So $150 and you'll check it out, my trailer out for me.
Yeah.
Sweet. Do it. And so, cause I wanted to make sure, I was going to open it up. I can check the wheel bearings super easy, but if I have to start doing drum brakes, I'm going to pay somebody to do drum brakes. I hate drum brakes. And and the trailer has 4 of them. And so I'm like, shit. Okay. So I was like, I've never, I've opened them up and I packed the wheel bearings before our cruise Moab trip last year. And I remember the brakes were sort of low, and then it had a year of towing on it. So I'm kind of like, I'll just give it to this guy, and he needs to fix the brakes, yay. I don't have to do it. So that was kind of nice and it was, for the most part, it's on the way cheaper side, and it saves me time. Now I can focus more on Clifford and Bobcat and just wash my hands of the trailer. So that'll be good. Yeah,
that's smart. I think I'm pretty much all ready to go to Moab.
Nice.
I'm going to be taking Kermit out to test everything on Thursday, when the day this episode releases. And there's going to the biggest part of the storm coming through is that day as well.
Yeah.
It's like the other people I'm going with are kind of like, do we really want to do this? I'm like, yes.
Yeah, this is the best.
This is the best time, you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it yet. I was talking to Dave, and he was saying that he wants to leave earlier than when I have to take the mini assistant to school. And I'm already leaving for a week next week, and we're relying on grandparents to help take the mini assistant to school. So I'm kind of wishy-washy if I'm going to rely on other grandparents to help out again.
You could probably still come up and just catch up to us.
Maybe.
I mean, we're going to have to essentially be breaking trail through snow. I think we're going to have 2 to 3 feet of snow to break through. So we're going to be going fairly slow, and there'll be fresh tracks for you to follow. So I think you'll be able to catch up, and then you've got the ham radio as well. Once you're up in that area, we can talk and keep in contact.
That's possible.
Yeah.
I'll be about an hour behind you guys.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah. So maybe we'll see. I do want to flex out the rig because, I did change some of the mounting spots for the steel cables.
Oh, okay.
But if anything, I lowered them a little, but I don't know. And I tried, I should measure the length of the steel cables that I got. Cause I think I got 14s, but I don't know if I had 16s before.
Should have brought Bobcat over today. We have the forklift.
I should have. But yeah, I want to flex it out, and I do want to try to add some bump stops in there now. Man, I called Hustle Nuts yesterday or the other day and was like, I need you to talk me off a ledge. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I'm going in circles in my head what to do with tires. Because one of the things is they say that you need to have good tires, and Bobcat's tires are old now, and they are like micro cracking. Not bad, but they're old enough to start cracking, right? And I was like, so should I go get 37s? Should I go get 40s? Like, I have a set of 40s in the shop. Should I just put those 40s on and not buy anything new? Should I buy a used set of 37s and since I know 37s work and I don't need to build bump stops and I don't need to do all these other things, like, should I just go that route and spend a few $100 just to not worry about it at the event? And he's kind of like, no, just like, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to tell you can't go on a run because of your tires. He said, like,
and then you just go on our own runs.
Yeah. Then you go on your own run or something. I said, yeah, that's probably it. And he was like, why don't you just go have Tyler check his vehicle and then come back to the house and then you swap tires out? I was like, that's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea.
And then I was like, I'm sure maybe I could take Lee's 35s, or something, and, but yeah, so he more or less, I'm not changing any tires. And I bought some internal bead locks.
Oh, you did buy some?
I did, and they're supposed to show up late this week. And so that was another thing in the mix of like, if I'm going to go to 40, if I'm going to change tires, I'm going to want to throw these internal bead locks on. And now I'm just adding another level of complexity into changing somewhat of the rig before I go out wheeling.
Yeah.
And I didn't really want to go to 40s because I'd really need to build bump stops. I'd really need to do fender trimming, and I'm not super comfortable knowing the rig at a slightly larger tire size and a slightly higher. And we're going supposedly on the hardest trail out in Moab.
Yep.
With Pritchett Canyon.
Yep.
Pritchett Canyon? Yeah.
Pritchett Canyon.
And so I was like, I know how Bobcat wheels. I know how it is as it is now. So I was like, I'm just going to leave it.
Yeah.
And if they say, no, you can't go, I'll be like, okay. And I'll just still show up. I'll still go do all the runs.
Yeah.
I just won't be affiliated with Cruise Moab.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like,
we'll just tag behind
I'll be behind the tail gunner.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's funny.
So he talked me off the ledge and saved me money. So,
well, that's good. Usually he's like, no, put the 40s on.
Yeah. I think he realized that it was like, the timeline didn't work. It's like, I still might throw the 40s on, but it'd be after Cruise Moab.
Gotcha.
And once I get the internal bead locks.
Gotcha.
So, and then I'll, I can do it right for the wheeling season. So.
Okay. Well, cool, man. Fun episode today. Lots going on over the weekend as we're getting ready for Moab. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys have any feedback, want to leave us a voicemail so we can play it on the show here, you can do that over at 916-345-4744. That's also down in the show notes for your enjoyment and pleasure. We got a bunch of new discount codes down in the show notes as well for everybody. And let's see, what else do we got?
If you want to get a hold of us on Instagram, you can get a hold of me at Snail Trail 4x4. Tyler's over at 4x4 Toyota Tyler. And you can always write us an email, Jimmy or Tyler at snailtrail4x4.com.
Cool, man. So I think that about does it. Jimmy, do you have any final words for everybody out there?
I'm surprised you didn't lose it when you said you were going to measure your tube.
Did I say I was going to measure my tube? And with that, my friends, keep crawling.
I got one for you.
Okay.
What do computers eat for snacks?
Something bites.
microbytes.
Microbytes. Gotcha.
Or microchips.
That's a good one. I like microchips better.